What I love about hearing from his coach, hearing from T.Y. Hilton, it puts things in perspective. When you hear Andrew Luck, for the fans that are a little salty, the fans that are a little upset, they can sit back and pick at Andrew Luck and say, well, it's 2 weeks away, and it's what you get paid to do, and you've already taken millions, and we had a chance. This is going to be our year. But when you hear other people speak on it, that's when you kind of sit back and say, okay, it's way deeper than I thought. You know, when I hear T.Y. Hilton talking, I think of Dante Culpepper,
sure,
Matt Hasselbeck, Seneca Wallace, Matt Stafford, the quarterbacks that I played with. And after I took that jersey off, I look at as brothers. And for T.Y. Hilton to say, my best friend, a guy that I'm going to dedicate the season to, hashtag Luck to Hilton, it's way deeper than running around scoring a touchdown and high-five you on the sideline. And that's what people don't understand. This game is built for warriors, but we are the most sensitive individuals on the planet. And when you're dealing with what Andrew Luck was dealing with, his teammates, his coaches, they can't help but to share the same feeling. I mean, and I mean that sincerely, sharing the same type of pain that Andrew Luck went through. That's why there's not one teammate that has came out and said, I wish he didn't retire. They all understand why he did.
It's the human element here is fascinating. You look at Frank Reich. Frank Reich was never the man. He was always the backup. He was not God's given quarterback like Andrew Luck is. It would be very easy for Frank Reich to resent Andrew Luck walking away from his gifts, hanging it up early. He doesn't. He supports him. And as far as T.Y. was a third-round pick from FIU. And Andrew Luck had a huge hand in making him into a star. Now, T.Y. is a great player. Would he be a guy whose name has literally become a gesture without Andrew Luck? I don't think so. That bond is huge. Andrew Luck really built up T.Y., his career, his future. I mean, it's like if one of us suddenly left the show. We made Nate. He would cry like that the same exact way. I feel like that's where T.Y. is coming from.
Hashtag Brant the Bros.
That's what I'm saying.
I think there's a growing disconnect between how fans view players and how players view each other. I think fans' initial reaction in this is shocker. Why would he do that? And in some cases, betrayal. Like, hey, I paid season tickets and I wear the jersey, and my son and I go with my daughter every weekend, and we pay hundreds of dollars to see you, Andrew Luck. How dare you, with $100 million, say no? You know, David DeCastro, another really educated, intellectual player, Steelers offensive lineman, was a teammate of Andrew Luck's in college at Stanford. He says, fans treat us like we're circus animals. That's what his quote was. I thought Doug Baldwin yesterday had a really pressing take about how it's all about my entertainment, my entertainment. Well, what about this man's health and the fact he can't lift his child? I think this is a microcosm sometimes of the discussions that we as reporters and we as fans have, and maybe what's going on in those locker rooms. So to see T.Y. still have his man's back despite thinking, hey, I want to make some more money. My best bet is with Andrew Luck under center, but that's not what's taking priority right here.
And, of course, I love the fact that T.Y. and him had a one-on-one conversation, that it meant in this crazy moment of Andrew Luck hanging it up to go individually to the people that mattered most to him, that he shares that bond with, and sort of talk to them. And I know he wanted to do that before the news even came out. Unfortunately, it didn't happen that way. I got to ask you, Schrags, though, is it fair to criticize Andrew Luck in this situation? Is it fair to criticize his decision?
No. It's not. I mean, if you want to criticize the timing and all that stuff, but I think at this point, it's his body. And when you hear lacerated kidney, can't lift a child, like all that stuff, do what you got to do, man. At this point, do what you got. He didn't put the Colts in a tough spot. They like Jacoby Brissett. He gave him a heads up internally. If anything, it's just surprising. I think a couple of days from now, even the fans who were booing or even the fans who criticized him and said, hey, this was a selfish move for him to do it the way he did, I think they would think and internalize it themselves, look in the mirror and say, well, wait a second. Would you want to go to a job where you couldn't perform your rest of your life's duties for every day? He's turning down $58 million, Kay. I don't think it's hard to...
It's hard to criticize him. I agree. I'm totally with you.